Three, two, one, roll the footage. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Simon Severino, your host. And today we have the host of the 10 Minutes of Truth podcast and owner of Press for Time Teas that will talk with us how to find peace and success, how being great right where you are is possible even while raising a family, and why you should embrace the work, not just the success or the money. Welcome, everybody. Shawn Barksdale.
Hey, good morning. How you guys doing? How you doing, Simon?
I'm super pumped to have you here. Shawn, what are you currently creating?
Um, I'm creating a pathway. Let me explain to you briefly, Simon. I grew up being poor, and I didn't know I was poor because we had a house and we had a car, right? My mother, she went in debt, trying to get me nice things, and at a very early age for myself, my father became incarcerated. So I turned to the street to gain the knowledge that I feel he should have given me. Because of a lack of education and resources, I started getting in trouble at an early age, and at the age of 23 years old, I found myself incarcerated for 14 years. But let me tell you what happened. During that time, I changed my mind, I changed my heart about how I wanted to live and what was going on with me. So I started to educate myself. I started to get trades. I started to get into programs. And so a couple of the trades was AutoCAD and graphics communications, which I fell in love with, Simon. And when I got out, I actually started at a printing company, right, that I loved. And I went on to start my own company, Press for Time Teas. And what we're doing now is we're providing jobs and resources for individuals that come from those type of environments that may not have uh, a head start like some people have. So we're providing that pathway, man, for individuals, right? And we're providing a mindset as well, right? Because we come from the trenches. We're in the trenches. And once we're coming out of the trenches, we're throwing a rope back to pull people out of the mud. So that's what we're creating, man, a pathway.
And you say that there is a way to find peace and success. Can you unpack that?
Yeah, well, the thing about peace, right, is that you have to find out what you have and where you're at in life, right? And embrace it, and then you move on to uh, compartmentalize the things that in business or in your personal life you compartmentalize in a way that you say, for instance, I've had a bad day at work, but I'm not going to take it home with me to my wife and to my children, right? And you leave that there, and you figure out how to deal with those problems, right? And you find a way to, like I say, compartmentalize and move on past them, man. And you'll find peace in your life. You'll find peace in your work. You'll find peace in your partnerships, your businesses, so on and so forth.
The second thing that you brought as a CEO tip is we can be great at what we do even when we are just raising a family. Tell us
Right.
more.
Well, me coming home, Simon, I had children, right? I'm 45 years old. I have young children. And, a lot of times, do you have children? You have children, Simon?
Yes, 3 and 6.
Oh, wow. Yes. So, and it can be very hectic, if you're working from home or you're in the office and, your children are running around and whatnot, right? So that it's a blessing, having those children, and it's a blessing in being able to show them growth, right, inside of the business, man. So it's just a blessing, man. Having children, man, and being able to function on a day to day basis in the business, man.
Yeah. And I'm curious, who do you pick for the strategy award? When everybody's zigging, this person is zagging, but from your perspective, they're doing the right thing. Who do you pick?
I picked Lisa Kipps Brown. Let me tell you about Lisa a little bit. I had her on my podcast, the 10 Minutes of Truth podcast, and she's a guerrilla market strategist, right? And she's also the marketing expert for the race car team and driver Colin Garrett. But the unique thing about them, Simon, is that um, they are the first race car team to race for veterans. They were the first ones that crowdfunded, right? And they had an at Daytona, and they had an all veteran race car, a sponsored race car, man. So she's definitely, zigging when everybody else is zagging, man.
And where do you take your inspiration from? Is it specific books or podcasts that inspire you?
It's both. Um, I love listening to podcasts. I love listening to your podcast. I've connected to a few individuals that were actually on your podcast. That great individuals. Books as well. I think that a lot of tools that we get and we use come from books and educating ourselves like that, right? So I think both.
And one thing that you say is we need to embrace the work, not just the success or money. Why is
Right.
that?
I say that, Simon, because you have to fall in love with the good and bad in business and success and failure. Because if you do that, if you embrace the bad just as much as the good, you learn from those experiences, right? Because most people we know we learn from the not so much the say the word failures, but what we didn't get right, right? Or if we do say the failure, you learn from them because you say, you know what, I brought that product out, it didn't do so well, but maybe if I tweak this, right? And what happens is once you gain success in that business model or that product, it keeps you humble when you remember those bad days. So if you equal both of those out, and you fall in love with the bad just as much as the good, man, you can have a successful run, man, in business and life.
Super cool. And if people want to know more about you, where do you hang out?
You can check me out on Press for Time Tees. That's PRESS, the number 4, TIME.com. And also we have the 10 Minutes of Truth with Shawn A. Barksdale.com podcast as well. I want to also I want to add something if I can, right? Because when we were talking about uh, like books, right? And it's I know you often ask the question about 3 different books, right? Uh, have you ever read the book Contagious by Jonah Berger?
No.
It's a great book on marketing, Simon. A great book on how to make things contagious, how to take a business model and scale it. So that's a great book as well. And another great book, I told you the lady Lisa Kipps Brown, she just authored a book called Disrupt Your Now, which she featured me and 50 other entrepreneurs in that have different walks of life. So just going back to that book model, that's a great book as well. And also, I want to congratulate you because you are coming out with your first book, right?
Yeah, it's coming out
What
in
you got?
February. Let it
Ah,
rains, my first book.
and so that's cool, man. That's real cool, man. Great job, man. And like I said before, you've done a great job just pushing the culture of business forward, man. So we really appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Sean. And who should be my next guest?
I would say Lisa Kipps Brown.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sean, for sharing your journey, your wisdom with us. Please come back soon.
Thank you.
Avoid trying to do thousands of things that doesn't work. We have 274 templates for your business success. Reach your ambitious goals with one-on-one sprint coach. We double your revenue in 90 days.